Hello, and welcome to this short tutorial describing some of the many possible ways of using the Trader's Toolbox Radar1 Fear Greed Indicator, a mainstay of many successful trading systems, from institutional to individual traders. Radar1 is an oscillator which creates a histogram based on the relationship between price changes and volume changes to measure the ratio of buying strength to selling strength. This tells us whether the bulls or the bears are in control at any particular point in time. It is an excellent oscillator for divergence analysis and for identifying trend persistence, and it works in real time on charts in any time frame, either intra-bar or end of bar. When Radar1 is in the green zone, buying pressure exceeds selling pressure and the bulls are in control. The height of the green upward pointing Radar1 histogram bars is an indication of the strength of the bulls' buying pressure. Conversely, if the Radar1 oscillator line is in the red zone, selling pressure exceeds buying pressure and the bears are in control. The depth of the red downward pointing Radar1 histogram bars is an indication of the strength of the bears' selling pressure. Radar1 serves as an excellent turning point indicator in all kinds of markets, as it usually begins to turn before the price does. It generally reveals the exhaustion of the bulls or the bears, while the price is still moving up or down of its own momentum. If a sudden move in price is not confirmed or anticipated by a similar move in Radar1, it usually means a fake-out swing and represents a move to be ignored or faded. As I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, the Arps Fear Greed Indicator is a powerful tool for divergence analysis. When a Radar1 valley is shallower than its predecessor, while the price corresponding to the most recent Radar1 valley is lower than the price corresponding to the previous Radar1 valley, then a diverging condition is said to exist and prices are likely to turn to the upside. Conversely, if a Radar1 peak is lower than a previous Radar1 peak, while the price corresponding to the most recent Radar1 peak is higher than the price corresponding to the previous Radar1 peak, then a bearish divergence has occurred and prices are likely to turn to the downside. Let's take a look at how the Arps Fear Greed Indicator might appear on this chart created by eSignal and how we might interpret what it's telling us. If we start on the left of the chart here, we notice a clear bullish trend in price and in the indicator. Yet around this point we notice that as price makes higher highs throughout this bullish trend, the indicator fails to reciprocate and its peaks get continuously lower, until at some point something spooks the market and price falls precipitously. Once price rebounds and begins to climb again, we're able to read this as a type 2 trend divergence, where the oscillator is making lower lows with respect to price, which is making higher lows. Therefore, we see this as a pullback opportunity in this bullish trend. And once again, the oscillator is showing us that the nature of the trend is still bullish because it's rising with the price. At this point, we recognize that the force of the bulls is weakening even though the price is continuing to rise. With each successive peak in the oscillator becoming lower and lower, we are further convinced that this bullish trend may be reaching its exhaustion. We watch as price continues to make new highs and the oscillator reads very near no bullish pressure, giving us a heads up that this may be an excellent opportunity to exit our long position if we have one. price breaks below the support level, makes two thrusts downward, which are reflected in the fear-greed indicator as a pivot divergence, giving us heads up that we may be looking at another thrust to the upside in the price movement, which actually does manifest. So I hope this helps you understand how you might go about reading and interpreting the ARPS fear-greed indicator as time passes on a chart. On the eSignal platform, you can access the inputs for the Jan Arps tools with the colored tab on the lower left of your screen. This brings the inputs box up, where you can enter the sensitivity of the tool, which usually falls in a range from 1 to 10. Lower numbers create a more sensitive response from the ARPS fear-greed indicator. Bounded is a true-false input, which allows one to change the nature of the ARPS fear-greed indicator from an unbounded tool to one bounded by 50 or negative 50. Here we can adjust the color for the bullish pressure. Here we can adjust the color for the bearish pressure. Here we can set a number across which the tool will send an alert to your screen if it crosses above this positive number for a bullish alert. And the same for the bearish alert, which should be entered as a negative number. And here are the ways that you can format your alerts. If you are on the eSignal charting platform, and if you would like further information on the Radar1 fear-greed indicator, or any of the other trading tools offered at Jan Arps Trader's Toolbox, simply click on this question mark next to the Inputs tab, and it will bring you to a page in your browser with all the information about the use and inputs of the tools in Jan Arps's Crown Jewels package. If you would like further information about the Jan Arps tools, or if you're interested in custom programming, please visit us at our website at janarps.com. These are serious tools for serious traders. Thank you for your interest in Jan Arps's tools. I hope this tutorial is helpful in your pursuit of consistent profits in today's markets.